Hey friends, welcome back or welcome to my channel. I'm Stacy from Stacy Makes. I own a small crochet business called Apple Tree Boutique, and I sell at craft shows at my local antique mall. We have a booth, and I design patterns. So this week, as always on Sunday, I'm going to cover what I made this week, and then I'm going to talk about the new patterns I tried this week. I'm always trying something new, it seems like. And then I'm going to talk about just like a little way I keep myself motivated and how I set myself up to crochet on my couch mostly, and so that I can function and, you know, the flow of my work makes sense to me. So we'll jump into first part. Will kind of be about what how I set up in my living room. So I crochet in my living room. I have a corner of the couch, a certain end of the sectional that is mine. Everybody knows that's where I sit. There's an end table. And so anyway, I sit there. That part of the sectional has a recliner as well. Anyway, long story short, I crochet in the living room. So what I do is I have to kind of make a plan for what I'm going to work on, and I come in here and I grab whatever yarns I think I might need. Sometimes I've got 2 or 3 things that I'm kind of feeling and I don't know which one I'm really going to do first, and so sometimes I'll grab all of it. But in the living room next to me, it's an L-shaped couch, and next to me is an empty seat usually, and so I have a small bag of polyfill, this bag that I bought at some point, and I refill it from a great big bag, and that sits kind of next to me or sometimes out on the coffee table or under the coffee table. And then I have this basket. I would guess it's 15 by 10 or 12 that I load with my yarn, and I just pull from the top of this. This sits next to me on my left hand side. I am a right hand crocheter, and I like my yarn to come from the left because that's the hand that it actually comes through and I tension with. So this is my yarn basket. It comes into this room. It gets loaded with what yarn I'm going to work on. So it can hold a lot at a time, and so I can really load it up and just take it out there. So, and then I have a notebook like this. This is actually my notebook that I use. I bought this off of Amazon. It's just a hard plastic notebook with lines in it, obviously. And anything that is like free patterns that I try on Instagram, patterns that I buy but are short and fast, I rewrite them in here. Or if I make something up, like I have my own mini bee keychain pattern that I kind of made up my own modification of it, and I wrote it in here. And then I sometimes write in here what hook size I use with certain yarns for those patterns, and I obviously write who the pattern was from so I don't forget. I keep this next to me on the end table so that when I'm just doing small quick things, I just grab it and I follow along, and then about the second time I make something, I usually have it memorized. So that's one thing I do so I don't have to use my phone and worry about my phone going to sleep and keeping my phone alive and where I was at on my phone. I write small short things out in this notebook. And then I have this monster. It is a monster binder. It is a 2-inch thick heavy duty binder from Staples. That was a leftover, I think, from my kids' school, something that they didn't use or they used and then didn't use anymore. And I have sheet protectors in here, and back to back, I print patterns that I think I'm going to use. I don't like to use my phone, and I don't have an iPad that I use regularly. We have one, but it's just, anyway, this works better for me. And so I back to back patterns of like sizes. This is obviously my Madeline Mako collection. And then in here, the sheet protectors, I used to hole punch them and put them actually in the binder, and that got really cumbersome, and somebody was like, I put mine in sheet protectors. I'm like, that's brilliant. So it's not my original idea, but then I started putting them in these, and then I can slide them out, use them, slide them back in here when I am done with them, so I can have all my collections in here. So I keep this under the end table next to me, and then I get 2 or 3 patterns out, and then I'll put them on top of, I have a crochet cart, so if I get around to it, I'll insert a picture and or a video. I did a video one time of a tour of my little crochet cart that I keep next to me too. So I sit here, my end table's here, and then right behind my end table is a 3-tiered cart that's on wheels that has on little baskets on the sides too that I bought that kind of add a little bit of extra. The one that's closest to me is the one that holds all of my crochet hooks. And then I have safety eyes, books, my embroidery thread for noses, mouths, that kind of thing. Keychain plushy things on the bottom, keychain clips and things like that. So everything's kind of handy there, handy but not handy. I mean, I'll get out a couple sets of eyes at a time sometimes if I'm making more than one thing of something, so I don't have to keep getting out the eyes. And I keep the most common ones on top in the bag so I could just reach in there and grab what I need. So that's kind of how I set up to crochet. But anyway, I kind of want to do at least 2 or 3 new patterns every week. If there's something I feel like will fit into my markets, or something somebody has asked for before, and then just kind of talk about those patterns. And then I obviously want to make things for my market. We have 3 weeks from yesterday until our next market, which is just in our local town. I sold a lot of small items at the last market and a lot of big items. So I'm just trying to make lots of everything as much as I can. And I like to, if you watch my previous videos, I like to crochet like what I want to crochet, but I just don't like to sit and make 20 turtles or 20 any octos or anything at once. Usually, I mean, I might challenge myself to do that once in a while. But so I got to Thursday this week and I realized that I had made like 4 or 5 big things and that was it. I hadn't really done any small things, and there was more big things I really want to make. And when I have something I really want to do that I know I need to do something else first, I try to find ways to motivate myself to then move on to the thing that I need to be doing, which in this case was some smaller things. And I thought, let's take I need to make small things, and let's pair that with, I also have a ton of skeins of yarn that are half or less, a third of a skein, and it's just kind of hanging out. I don't really know what to do with it. Well, I do know what to do with it, but I'm just like, I just haven't grabbed for it. So I made a list of all of the things, the small-ish things that I can make out of a half less a skein of yarn from Burnett Blanket type yarn, from Sweet Snuggles Light type yarn, and Parfait Chunky type yarn. And so then I came in here, and this is my Sweet Snuggles cabinet, and I grabbed, I can't remember, it was 3, 4, 5 little skeins that were just almost gone, put them in my basket, and then I went up to my Parfait Chunky, which is up here, and I grabbed, I don't know, there's six or so skeins that were almost gone out of that cabinet. And I just sat down Thursday, Friday, and yesterday, and thought, I'm going to try to make what I have this list, and I'm just, whatever I want to make off of the list, I'm going to grab one of the colors in this basket, and I'm going to get to working on it. So that's kind of a way I try to motivate myself this week. It's like I have to play little games with myself too. It's kind of like, I can crochet if I do the laundry first. I can crochet if I get all my vacuuming and my bathrooms cleaned. You know, it's just something I have to do so that I don't skip the things I really should be doing. And then I feel better, right? I feel better when I do those things. So I know that I will. It's just getting myself to do them. And so that's kind of one of the ways that I do that. So that's how I set up to crochet. That's one of the ways that I motivate myself to crochet not really things I don't want to do, but maybe, you know, when I'm really wanting to do one big thing and I know that that's not going to be good for market prepping, it's one way I motivate myself to do more market prepping, and then I can move on to the big things. So this week I grabbed, this was my basket. These are Parfait Chunkies. These are Sweet Snuggles, and actually 2 or 3 Sweet Snuggle colors are completely gone out of here, as is, I think, one of the, nope, there's a little bit left. The Parfait Chunky colors. So I grabbed this basket. I looked at my list and I just thought, what am I inspired to make? What can I make out of these colors that is on this list that I think will sell? So we'll go through that later, and I'll show you the things that I specifically made. I'll show you the things that I specifically made out of that basket. And but first I want to talk about some of the new patterns that I made this week. So some of the new things I made this week, let's start with this unicorn. So this unicorn is from AQ Crochets. It's a unicorn / Pegasus pattern. It's a 2-in-1. It has a really neat, it is fairly no-sew. It's very low sew, I would say, but you do make all 4 of these legs, and then there's a unique way to join them all together to make the base of the unicorn and then to work your way up. So this is all one piece eventually. You do have to sew on the horn, the muzzle, and the ears, and then you obviously have to attach all of these tentacles or you know, the hair, the tail, that kind of thing. Not tentacles, they remind me of jellyfish tentacles. So when I do pattern reviews, I like to talk about the clarity of the pattern, the outcome, and then the marketability to kind of rate whether or not I will do this pattern again. This pattern's clarity was very, very clear. I had 0 issues, and that's really hard to do when you have something unique like this, which I had done something slightly like this before on a giraffe, taking the legs, and a dinosaur where you take the legs and combine them, but both of those patterns had a different method, and this one was a little unique as well. So but I did not have a hard time following the pattern. There was great pictures for how to do that process. So pattern clarity was great. Outcome, I mean, it's adorable. I think it's great. I think you could add more hair and it would be even better, but you know, these take maybe 5 minutes a piece, and they're just going to add costs, and it's costs that I'm not sure that someone will pay for. You know, at the end of the day, every strand of hair is a couple dollars, right? Really cute pattern. I really love the way it turned out. It's very cute. Now, this is Sweet Snuggles Light. It is small-ish, I would say. It's not near as big as the Camille the Sitting Cows that I'm going to charge $45 for. I would say this took me an hour and a half to make. Maybe an hour and 40 minutes. Obviously, it was the first time as well that I had made this pattern, and I'm going to charge $32 for this one. I don't know if I'll make more. I think I'm going to, things like this in this big category, I don't usually make multiples of, unless I've proven that they will sell at those price ranges. So I'll make this one, take it to market, and kind of see how it goes. Okay. So cats, you know, if you watched my video a week or 2 ago, I did a cat from Teresa's Crochet Shop. I had bought several cats that same time, and this is one of the other cats patterns that I had bought and not tried yet. And this is Kelly the Kitty from All From Jade. And this is also Sweet Snuggles Light. This is one of their like tweed yarns, tweedish yarns looking, I don't know what it's called. Multi, I think, is some kind of multi. But, and then black, lots of pieces. The head and the body are all one, and then everything else is sewn on, obviously. I liked these feet and the way that they're like little stubby feet. I liked the arms. I do like the ears and the tail. And my only pattern clarity is great. All From Jade is a great pattern designer. I love her pattern. She's getting ready to come out with a book as well, which is wonderful. Pattern clarity was great. My one concern here is that, I mean, proportionately, this head is quite a bit bigger than this body. And it did take me just as much time to make this cat as it did this unicorn. And really, if you look at the 2 patterns and you think, gosh, how much work goes into that, you'd probably think there was more work in this unicorn, possibly because of all these hair and things, but really all of these pieces being sewn on is really what got me here. So I'm also going to charge $32 for this one. But pattern clarity, great. Outcome, I'm not in love. I'm not sure that I will make a billion of these. We'll see when we get to the market. And marketability, if I can charge the $32 and sell it, then I will give it a thumbs up. But I really don't know yet. I'm not as sure about this one. So All From Jade, Kelly the Kitty. So great pattern. Cute, cute, cute. Okay. This is my alpaca. Oh my gosh, this one is adorable. This one is a no-sew pattern outside of the fact that you make this saddle blanket. This is the alpaca. I made it in blanket yarn. It is a no-sew. You surface crochet back these ears on. You actually surface crochet this muzzle, which is a technique I'd used before in other patterns, but I wasn't expecting it to be a technique used in this muzzle, which was kind of neat. This is Keenmaker. On Etsy, I have done other patterns from this designer as well. Pattern clarity, I had 0 issues with this pattern. Outcome, I think it's cute. They had the option of, you know, put the face on straight, or you can put the face on to where like it's looking at you from the side. Obviously, I'm turning it to make it do that. I think maybe next time if I make another one, I will do it to the side. The only thing I was really confused about was at some point you've got to put these eyes on here, and I really had to get pretty far down the neck and then read pretty far ahead in the pattern to think about how they were doing this back part to center my eyes. I would have loved a little bit more detail on where to place these eyes if you want them on to this. Now, if you put your safety eyes in completely after the fact, or felt eyes, or you embroider your eyes, you're not going to have that issue. So, and then also the saddle blanket was single crocheted this way and changed colors, I think, every row, which was absolutely adorable, but I obviously did not want to spend a bunch of time weaving in ends, so I made mine this way, so on, and then I tacked it down. I don't know that there was a lot of instruction on tacking this down or how to attach it or whether to attach it or not. I can't remember actually right now. Anyway, obviously very adorable, very cute. I will probably make this pattern again. This is a good size. I'm planning on charging $20 for these. I mean, I imagine this little basket of these with their little heads sticking out with different colored. My only other issue is that it doesn't stand very well for the most part. It wants to lean forward. So, but I can sit here and maneuver it around a little bit and kind of fluff it up, and I can get it to stand every once in a while. So great pattern, keen maker. I love the outcome. Okay, Madeline Mako is a preferred designer of mine. You've heard me talk about her before. She came out with a mini mermaid pattern, which mini to her because she had a bigger pattern that took longer, and I have been wanting to do some kind of doll or mermaid or princess, something like that. I see people making flower girls, and so when I saw this pattern released, I'm like, yep, gotta go buy that one. So this is my mermaid, and it is adorable. I made this early in the week, and it is completely no-sew. You make the arms, attach them in the round. This is all one piece. The fins, the bottom of the tail fin part is you attach and so crochet that together as you go up. The hair is looped in and has a unique method for looping that in and then bringing it to the side and tying it. You leave the top of the head without hair, which probably saves you tons of yarn and time, but it is super cute. I did not modify anything about this pattern. You can see she kind of has like a couple stitches that go back in and make her look like a nose, but I did do back loops only right along here to kind of make more of a defined tail to waistline, and I did it up here as well. I think I did it on all, yep, I did it on all three places here just to kind of help define it so my stitches weren't going up and down so much, because I just thought that would look a little cleaner since it was supposed to be more of a piece of clothing, you know, on somebody instead of just like, you know, the color of an animal's foot. So anyway, just personal preference. The hair is just adorable. I plan on making a few more of these in different colors and colorways, and I'm going to charge $24 for her. She took me right at an hour, maybe a little bit over, but she was also the first time I made her. So super, super cute. Okay. And then Barry the Bee is my next tag along. This is Barry and his little wings. He is completely no-sew, just like all of my tag alongs are. You make all the limbs, arms, the wings, even in the round. You do come back and surface crochet the antennas on, but to me that's not sewing, that's just surface crocheting and then tying your tails in. It's with testers right now, so it's being tested by several crocheters right now, which, thank goodness for testers who go through your patterns and take their time and materials and to take pictures and give you feedback. It's just amazing. I appreciate them so much. But anyway, so this is Barry the Bee. So this is another pattern that I did this week that was mine. This was my first draft of Barry, which pretty close. I just didn't put the wings on yet because I wasn't really sure how I wanted to do it. And I color changed the antennas on this one instead of slip stitching them in or surface crocheting. And I just don't like the way that leaves a little bit of color behind where you had to color change just to do some chains up, and just a little messier to me. So I thought this would be a little cleaner, and I made them a little taller this way. So that is Barry the Bee. Okay, so let's get into everything else I made this week. First, we'll talk about the stuff that you've seen me make before or was not part of my challenge, which really there's not much of that. There's only one more thing. I made another Fred the Turtle. CJ's design, you know, I modify this a little bit if you see my other patterns, or my other videos. I modify, tack the head back, and do the top of this different. But this is the new yarn from Burnett we talked about last week as well. It's kind of marbly looking, and it is just adorable. I met some people in town this week that were looking for Easter presents. I took my big tote bags full of stuff that was already priced, plus a few of my newer things that I just made, including the turtles. And I sold 2 of the 4 turtles that I took with me uptown. And so I came home and I made it 1 more. So I still have more turtles I need to make, obviously, because now I only have 3. I keep going backwards, but it's great that, you know, local people were supporting me. So, okay. And then let's get into, one more thing that was not part of my challenge this week. Yep, the rest of that's all challenge stuff. This is Merv the Fish pattern. It is, I made it with Parfait Chunky Glitz. You can see that. I was a tester for Kaylee Crochet, or Kaylee Crochet. I'll put it on the screen. And I tested this for her as just a little, and I made 1 and took pictures for her, and this little fish pattern. It's cute. So that is something that I made this week. Okay, so let's get to, you know, I showed you this basket that I took out there, which I don't know if I'm completely done yet or if I'm going to keep working out of this basket. And then I had a list of all the stuff I can make out of stuff in that basket. So let's start with the stuff I made out of Sweet Snuggles. I had like a sand color in there. So I made 3 baby turtles with 3 different shell colors because I had these 3 colors in there that were scraps, not really scraps, but just like almost completely used up skeins. These things are so cute. I've talked about them before. I charge $8 for these. Obviously, I'll put all my links to everything in the bottom, the description. I made this bee out of Sweet Snuggles. I had this mustard color and some yellow. I put his eyes maybe a little too close together, but he'll go in my little $5 bin. And Sweet Snuggles, I made this tiny octo. Trying to use up a little bit more of my pink and make some more $5 items. So I made those 5 things out of the Sweet Snuggles. And then when I moved on to Parfait Chunky, again, if you saw my other videos, you saw that I am obsessed with this gecko pattern. I just love this pattern. I just think it's hilarious. My son loves it. So I made these 3 different geckos out of yarns that I had in there. These are all Parfait Chunky. It's different colored eyes. They're so cute. This is like Rain, I think, has green eyes, and then this one just has plain black ones. I love this pattern. I did time myself last night making the very last one, which after I make 1 or 2, I like to time myself just to, I kind of get an idea, but I wanted to make sure that I was on track for these. But it took me 35 minutes to make 1. So, but these are my 3 geckos. My plan right now is to do 15 for these. They do take a little more concentration and skill, and they are a little bit bigger than a lot of my other $8 and $10 items. So we'll see how those go. And then I made another tofu. Cute little, I love tofus. So I like, again, I'll take a lot of tofus to the market, but I don't make them all at once. So I think I have like 6 now, but I made them all at different times. I made another Finn the Frog, which is my pattern off of Etsy, my little tag-alongs that can hang or sit because they got little flat bottoms. I had this green yarn out, obviously, and so I made another Finn. And then I made, these 2 little baby hippos. They're so cute. This is Crochet with Bae's pattern. I think Hilda the hippo is her name. But these are, I've made this pattern in jumbo yarn before, but I had not made it in Parfait Chunky. And I thought, let's make one of these in Parfait Chunky because it's really, I looked at the pattern, I'm like, it's not that many rounds. It's not that big. Like, I can do this. Like, this won't take me very long. and I timed it, and it took me right at 20 minutes to make one of these. So, which is great timing. It's really marketable pattern time, you know, so you can, I'm going to do 10 for these little guys. They're just so adorable. This little nostrils, see their little, the way the nostrils are kind of shaped, and you kind of have to like crochet, you know, trust the pattern, crochet them, and like flip them out like she says. So anyway, adorable, super cute. 2 of those. Okay, and I'm going to do 10 for those. So in total this week, I made 3 tiny things that are in my $5 to $7 range. I made 9 smalls. I made 6 mediums and 2 larges. I made 20 items total this week. So anyway, that was $278 worth of inventory that's actually going to the market. So I think that's what I have this week. So woke up this morning to almost 1,000 subscribers. It's very humbling. It's very exciting. Oh my gosh. Okay. I just love this little community. I love that I have found something to do outside of my job that fulfills a purpose, and it gives me something to do with my daughter as well, and to talk about with, you know, with my daughter. And really the YouTube channel was just another way to keep myself motivated and on track. And I love to watch them, and I thought maybe I'll just do one and see how it goes. You know, make some new crochet friends, find people that do and love the same things that I love to do. And it's just been super overwhelming to see my little community grow. And it's just amazing. And I just really appreciate you guys so much for watching, for liking and subscribing to my videos, and commenting. I mean, so many of you comment on my post or on my videos, and I love that you take the time to just write something, you know. I mean, I know that in this fast-paced world, and I don't always do it either. I'm trying to get better at doing it, because now I know how much I appreciate when somebody else does it for me. The small amount of time that you take to just respond and interact with somebody's YouTube video means so much to me, and I'm trying to do it more and more for others as well. So anyway, I love you all. I love that you are here watching this video. I'm hoping that you're gathering tips, tricks, information, or just motivation, or just something that can play in the background while you're crocheting. And I just think that that's amazing, and I just appreciate you all. So if you did like this video, obviously like this video. So subscribe to this channel, that way you'll get notifications. My normal posting day right now has seemed to be Sundays. I love you guys. Have a great week. Comment below maybe what your favorite thing is I made this week, or what you're working on, and we'll talk. So you guys have a great week. Happy crocheting. Thank you for being here.